Hi guys, here's the new launch Creader Elite version 2 2024 OBD2 diagnostic tool. As you can see, this is a tool specific for Audis, but it actually can do other VAG cars such as Volkswagen, Seat and Skoda, along with some others. So I'll open it up and see what we've got. Comes with this standard OBD2 lead. I'm glad to see it's got some desiccant in there to keep it all dry. Looks like a nice robust unit, and you can't miss it being bright orange. Stop you losing it. Here's a device connection port which is screwed in, making it nice and secure. There's an on button and a USB-C port for charging it, I guess, which it doesn't come with. So I'll screw that cable in so it's nice and secure now. Comes with a quick start guide which briefly outlines the device and how it's powered from either the USB-C attached to a computer, the OBD lead attached to the car, or it's got an internal battery. When you first turn the device on, there's a few things to set up, but it's quite straightforward. Gives them here briefly and again in the instruction booklet, which I'll show you next. The instructions are very well written in good English with a table of contents outlining everything that you'll need to know. It even gives you a diagram of the 16-pin OBD2 connector, and then goes on to explaining the onboard diagnostics and the general protocols that they use through the OBD2 definitions. Gives you an idea of how these devices work. Again, a diagram and technical specifications of the device, showing that it's got a 2 GB RAM and 16 GB of memory, and it also includes its own Wi-Fi. So you don't need to actually plug it into the PC to get online. And then it runs over the initial setup again in more detail, and then how to upgrade it, then how you go about running a diagnostic check with a health report and system scan. It also shows you how to do live data streams with a graphical output. How to read codes, how to erase codes, how to upgrade the software. It has an inbuilt mailing function, so you can send system reports to yourself, and then it goes into a detailed breakdown of all the settings on the device. A useful feature is a DTC library that's inbuilt into the machine for fault referencing, and finally a frequently asked questions page which shows that they're quite committed to the product. Right, let's turn it on. Just before I do that, I'll just plug it in to charge it with a USB-C cable into my computer. Here's what happens. Here's the graphics, a little battery symbol and the percentage, and then it'll go off and carry on charging, I think. Right, now I'll turn it on. So you have to press the start button for about 2 seconds. It won't do it if you just tap it. I'm showing you all this in real time to show you the time it takes to load, etc. So it comes up with launch and then a graphic to show it's loading. Some picture of an engine comes up, and then you're on to the welcome. Creader Elite 2.0 Audi. Press start. OK. Select your language. Then your time zone. Then it looks for a network setting. Click on that and then it asks you for your password. Enter that and it should say connected, like mine does. Press next. Then there's workshop information. You can fill that in if you want. The information is used on the diagnostic reports that you can produce, which would be useful to give to customers. I'll skip that for now. Then a user agreement disclaimer. You just have to agree to that. And it takes you into the home page. A number 9 notification on upgrade, so I'll press upgrade. This is all the software that's loaded on, which covers most of the VAG group cars. Seat, Skoda, Volkswagen, Bentley, Bugattis and Lamborghinis as well. So they're all selected, so press update, and then depending on how fast your network is, they'll just all update. Could take some time. You don't actually have to do this because there's software already in the unit, so it should work straight out of the box. Once you've uploaded, you can go back to the home page. These are all the diagnostic files uploaded. Press home. We'll just take a look at the settings. Right, here we are, units of measure. Metric or imperial. It's on metric. Automatic detection on connect. You want that on, in my opinion. And then let's look at the brightness, because it looks a bit dim, the screen, especially in sunlight. So I think I'll raise that. You can either press back up at the top here or at the bottom on the main menu. Sound, see if I can, oh, you can't increase it, it's just whether it's on and off. Here's your network settings. Mine's located and connected, which is where you'd add a network if you needed to do. Time zone, I've already done that. Language, confirming it's on English. Workshop information again. So I'll just put my name in here. Name of the channel. Alright, it looks like you've got to fill in the website and the telephone number as well before it'll save. Then we've got recovery, which restores the device to the default factory settings. Then we've got cleanup. That just cleans the cache, I believe, and any unwanted files maybe. Screen capture, that puts a camera icon on the screen so you can just capture the screen anytime you want. Go to data. This is where all your files are located. And interestingly, it's got a DTC lookup. So all the fault codes, you can, if you know the number, you can look them up on the device for varying different models. Go back. And if I press about, I should be able to get the version number up of the software. Yep, down here, that version. Tells you the version, and you can, if you press detect system update, it'll see whether it needs to update it or not. So you can do the update from here, I believe. There's the current version. We'll just check the version again. Current version is the latest version. Press back, go back home. So now we're all up to date. We'll go and check out a car and do some diagnostics. This is the car I'm going to use. It's a Skoda Superb Mark II. And if we go down here at the driver's side and look underneath the dash, there'll be a purple connector. There it is. That's where I want to connect the OBD2 lead. So I'll do that. Make sure you get it the right way around, like so. Press the start button for more than 2 seconds. I'll just fast forward this till it loads. Here's the home page. I'll put the key in the ignition and turn it on. Now it's doing an automatic VIN check. Now I found that this doesn't always work. When you first plug it in, I think you need to press on the module for the manufacturer first. But then it does give you an option to manually input it, which I've tried, and that seems to work fine. Get out of that. Press Diagnostics. Now I choose the app for your car, the manufacturer. Gives an overview of the software. OK that. Now it's communicating. Doesn't take too long, this. Now here's the main submenu. I'm going to click on Health Report, which will run through all the modules. You can choose individual modules if you want, but the Health Report gives an overview of everything on your car really, which is quite good. So we'll let that do its thing now. Found it doesn't take that long. Alright, it's found the climate control module fault. That'll be the air conditioning. There's no refrigerant in it. Oh, I got a fault on navigation. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I know it's a GPS issue. And a fault on the radio. It's the same for the infotainment system. There's probably one on the telephone as well. That's complete. Shows the faults first. Gives a green tick against all the units all the modules that don't have a fault. So if we click on the first fault, climate control module, go into that. Let's read in the control module, just agree to that bit, and you get the menu up for that module. Read DTCs, and here's the fault. Now here you can do a code search and it'll go on the internet if you've got Wi-Fi near your car, but I'm not within range at the moment. But I did try with another car and another fault earlier. First look in the help against the fault code on the device, and it's quite useful, quite comprehensive, tells you roughly what you need to know. In this case it was just to change the alternator. But I could do a code search and it'll go on to Google, automatically input in the fault code, and here we got faulty alternator. So that's quite useful. You can even watch YouTube videos on the device, which could be useful, although sound might be compromised here. Right, back to the Skoda Superb, and then you can clear the fault codes, but there's no point in me doing that on my faults because I'll need to fix them first. Now if you go on to report, it produces quite a nice report that then you can share and send it by email. But I can't do that in the car as the Wi-Fi isn't on, so I'll have to take that inside to do that. And as I turn the machine off and went inside, the data's gone, so I'll just have to see if I can find it. Alright, it's in data. And then the report, if you press the report button, it'll come up. Here we are, Skoda. There's the diagnostic report. So I'll press share, brings up this dialog box where you can put your email address in at the top, so I'll do that. And then click send. So I presume that's done it. I'll go and check on my computer. And here it is, Diagnostic Report of Skoda Superb from launch. Click on that. It gives you, looks like it's, you could press on another link and then it's online, and then it brings it up. There we are, inspection report. So it's all there. Yep. And the drop down links work. So I'll look up that trouble code from the climate control module. Can't directly link from this email, so I'll put the number into the internet. Then you've got various information. You can read up about the code and see what you want to do about it to fix it. So I'm going to show you the live stream capabilities of the machine now. So we go into system selection and then engine and electronics in this case. Just for an example, you can use any of the other modules. Gives you the module information. Okay, now I'm going to press read data stream, which brings up a list of all the things that you can test, which is quite a lot. So I'm going to check the air mass value. And I can eventually find it. I think it's in alphabetical order, roughly. Here we are, engine revs per minute. Click OK. And we've got a figure. And of course this is at idle with the engine off. So I want to combine those. So highlight those and then press OK. Here's the graph. And then start the engine. You can see the two figures corresponding with each other in pretty much a linear fashion, which is what you'd expect. And obviously you can do this with a lot of other parameters to diagnose things. Now I believe I can take a screenshot of this and even record it. Press this book icon and go into screen capture, click that radio button, gives a little icon top right for the screenshot, click back, take a screenshot. It says screenshot will be saved. So there you go. If I click back, I can get the actual figures, which is quite useful. and there's a press the record button, so that'll record it and retrieve that later. Tells you the file name, you can make it what you want. So I'll get back out of that now. If you want to turn the device off, you go back to the home menu and then press the start button for a few seconds, and it'll bring up a little box, power off, before you take it out of the OBD port and remove it from the car. So some other things you can do with the device. There's a number of electronic components that you can actuate to see if they're working or not. Go into system selection to choose the module you want to look into. I'm going to choose instrument cluster here. And you get to the module menu, and we're going to choose actuation test. Then it asks you if the engine's on or not. It needs to be off with the key ignition on. Press OK. So this is the instrument binnacle we're going to test. We just got to decide what we're going to test. I'll click on buzzer. OK. Then press stop. I'll try the rev counter. Goes up to the top, and then it goes up to the 12 o'clock position and holds there until you turn it off. Other functions you can do. You can do adaptations. It says there's 96 different adaptations here. A lot of them will be specific for the car model, and you can do basic settings, long coding, and that's just in that module. If we keep going back to the main menu, we can choose special functions, and this is where your service resets are in. I'll just show you the service reset on an Audi A3. If we go into this car, turn it on, we can see in the information center it says service due. And in the bottom right hand corner there's a spanner which indicates it needs a service. So we choose service reset, and if you choose manual reset it'll just tell you a manual way of doing it, which may work or not, using buttons on your dashboard no doubt. I'll just show you that. Here's a dialog that comes up and tells you how to do it, and if that doesn't work then you need to do an auto reset. So on this model you can choose to do a major or a minor service. I'll choose the major service first. That gives me some options here, so I don't want either of them. I'll manually set the parameters. So it gives you the option to put your mileage in that you want. I'm going to put 15,000 kilometers. And then it gives you the option to set the days between the service, and I'm going to put 365. And then this dialog box comes up saying it's successful, but if it's still coming up with maintenance service light, then reset the minor maintenance service. So I'll do that. So here's the options on the minor service, and this has actually got 15,000 kilometers, 365 days, so I'll click on that one. Reset successful. Okay, have a look, check the dashboard, and yeah, when I turn it on nothing comes up and no spanner, so that's service taken care of. Turn it off, turn it back on again, and yeah, no service indicators, so that's done. Brake pad change, throttle learning, battery matching, headlamp adjustment, DPF regeneration, tyre pressure resets, seat calibration, and something that's very useful, ABS bleeding. So there's quite a lot of stuff in this device, and for what the cost is of these units seems very good value for money. But as with all these devices, they're only as good as what they can do for you, whether they can solve your problem and help you fix the issue that you've got with your car. And at the moment it's done everything I've asked of it. It seems well made and robust and certainly reliable. The screen's bright and clear. This model's come with all the Volkswagen Audi Group cars pre-installed with updates for life. There is the ability to upgrade it with other makes of vehicle as well for around $35. So I'm quite impressed with this device so far, and I would recommend it compared with other models at this price point. I'm sure it does have its limits at this price, so I look forward to doing some further deep testing with this tool to see what its actual limitations are. I'll leave a link in the description for the device, and as always, thank you for watching.